comparison of random ratio and fixed ratio schedules in fish. I'm Richard, BCABA. So for procedures, our subject is over here. It's a neon swordtail. I'm going to try to pronounce the scientific name. He was kept in a 10-gallon tank with those measurements, and he was fed exclusively with the R2 training wand and only at training times. There was no food provided otherwise in between training sessions to maximize food deprivation states. So to go about training, I went through this with 4 phases, which I will highlight for everyone as we go through the presentation. Phase 1 just started with the training wand because we can't shape any responses if our subject is not following a training one. So we start with the FR1 schedule, and trial basically looked like me placing the training wand in the middle of the tank and left it there until the fish hopefully approached it. If he did, I opened up the food receptacle and released the food. To better record data on latency, I kept trials to a maximum of 5 minutes. So if at the end of 5 minutes he didn't approach the stick at all, I just withdrew it and started a new trial to better collect that data. After he had 2 trials with reaching the max duration, and then on the 3rd trial he managed to contact the reinforcement, which then caused a sharp decrease in latency of approaching the training wand. I moved to the next phase when he touched the wand for 3 trials in a row from any position in the tank in less than 5 seconds. So I want to make sure that, as soon as I put the training wand in, he knows exactly what he's got to do. So here's a video of the baseline data, just to show you how much he didn't care for the training wand. This is a shorter video, only like 30 seconds.
This is baseline for the swordtail. Does not care for a feeding stick.
The wand had already been there for about like 4 minutes-ish. He just hid in the corner the whole time. Okay, phase 2. So once we got phase 1 done, which was approaching it from any position, we moved on to hoop training. So we used a similar shaping procedure as phase 1. Had the wand next to the hoop, and then as he approached the hoop, food was released. Every successful swim through the hoop, I increased the distance of the feeding rod about 5 centimeters from the hoop. I just want to be very systematic with how I did that to make sure that we were getting stimulus control with the hoop rather than the training wand at this point. The criterion for mastering out of this phase was going through the hoop 3 times with wand in a corner of a tank, and then we proceeded to the next phase. Now for later trials, I didn't require necessarily that the wand was like in a corner to signal that reinforcement's available for going through the hoop, but reaching that criterion definitely helped out with the extended amount of trials they had to go in through getting the independent responding. Phase 3, I did a brief fixed ratio, random ratio training just to expose him, the subject, to each of the contingencies before just being exposed to them separately. I just did 4 training trials of this, and this is just to maybe start to do a discrimination between the 2 hoops, maybe making it a little bit easier when they're both in there at the same time. I didn't take any data that helps suggest that this assisted. So that's something I would do definitely if I were to repeat this. I would maybe take data between 2 subjects, do the FRR discrimination before presenting both, or just to go straight to concurrent. So I alternated which was trained every day and only did 4 training sessions. No criterion to move out to phase 3. Here is the training video for hoop training. So this is in progress training. So we just have the red hoop, which is on a fixed ratio. I think he's at 2 at this point.
Video of Training the hoop response. Boom. 1 second, gotta load.
So it's still being shaped up at this point. We're at a fixed ratio 1 in that one. So this is definitely more
Loading
phase
in the
2
shrimp.
with just the red hoop, which looked very similar in phase 3,
Okay.
except with the FR3 schedule in place.
Came in. Boom. And loading up shrimp.
No, actually, what's next is really cool. So you're going to see him. He's going through it as I'm already there, so no wand in the water. And he went through
He actually just did that.
which is super awesome. So yes, that was phase 2, going into phase 3. Okay, phase 4. So this is what our abstract sought out to do. This is our concurrent schedules, FR3, RR3 discrimination. So we have the same hoops as phase 3. So we have the blue training hoop, which you'll see in the video in a bit, and then the red hoop, which you just saw, attached to the side of the tank. Again, it's concurrent FR3 and ratio 3 schedule. Use the random number generator from Google. Just set the min to 1, max to 3. And then anytime he contacted the random ratio reinforcer, I started the number generator again. If any swims through the red hoop at this point didn't reset the random number generator. So here's our final response video. This after he's been through both of these quite a bit. I actually took a new video, just to get it a little bit clearer, because last one I took was at night, so you'll actually see him change his response from the red hoop to the blue hoop. Made the hoop a little bit closer to his face, because the catfish were distracting him. And they moved around the decor. We had 2 fish there. Could have swam back to the red, but went to the blue. Sometimes the brine shrimp would get stuck to the inside of the food dispenser, which definitely didn't help, but I think it kind of helped cause a pairing of seeing the red of the hoop dispenser and pairing that as a reinforcer.
Boom, yeah, see? You got lucky, mister. There's 2 random ratio ones.
Kind of felt bad there, actually, with when I turned the camera around, he actually went through it. It was on one, the random generator, everybody went through twice. And with no prompt on that second one. Results for phase 1, took 6 presentations of the training rod to get the criterion I wanted for him following the hoop. Phase 2, for just that going through the hoop, took 42 trials. And you'll see in the graphs, I'll pull up in a bit. Trial 24, he was, I don't know what the deal was. I don't know if it was water quality, but he had a really high latency for going through the hoop. Just doing really weird, distracting behavior, just following the walls. Sometimes his reflection got him excited or what. And by the end of 6 days, there was a preference observed for the blue hoop with the random ratio, which you just saw in that video. Definitely gravitating towards that. So this is graph 1. So this is the latency to approaching the training wand. So you can see the first 2 trials, he ran out the clock 5 minutes for both of those. And then about a little more than 2 minutes for trial 3, he finally approached and was able to contact the reinforcement, and at which point he just started immediately going for within less than 10 seconds would be near the training rod, which eventually got done like 3 seconds depending on his position in the tank. For latency for going through hoops, or again, our criterion was we needed 3 responses going through the hoop with less than 5 seconds, which I don't think I mentioned on my slide. But as we can see here on the bottom here, this face line is for the to show that you need the 5 seconds or less, and we don't get that till if I move my face. I can't move my face, but basically right where the recording button is, we have data point 1, data point 2, and data point 3 right at the end. So days 39, 41, and 42. And on day 24, where you had the increased latency, I did a refresher trial with just the training wand, and then canceled training for that day. just to get them back up to speed so I can shape the response up better. And by the end of it, this frequency is swimming through the FR versus the R hoop. Because you can see there's initially preference for the fixed ratio hoop, and I think a lot of it was because of the 42 acquisition trials. It was with the red hoop, so definitely more stimulus controls going through that hoop to contact reinforcement. But as trials went on, and contacting that reinforcement quicker um, with the blue hoop, definitely started to see a preference for going through that. Still would go through the red hoop because there's still reinforcement for that, and sometimes it's like maximizing if you can get that extra reinforcement through doing both. Organisms will do that. So my presentation. Thank you all for watching. Hope you all do good with your presentations. Have a good day.